Okay, welcome to day 7. It is officially midnight 14. It's 12:14 on the 7th of July. I have today's video that's coming up at 6 o'clock in the morning, my time, so in 6 hours. I got it finished. It's currently uploading. And then the next day's video is already done. So what I filmed on the 6th, which is still not over for me. I've still not gone to bed. However, I was literally about to stand up from this desk and be like, okay, I'm going to bed. But I hit play on the Storm King, and it is being read by John Lindstrom. And here's what I have to tell you about him. He was an actor on General Hospital when I was a teenager. Maybe he still is. I'm not sure. Anyway, he played Kevin something, maybe Chamberlain. Why do I think his name was Kevin? Anyway, I joined the John Lindstrom fan club. I feel like that should be in some kind of support group meeting where I stand up at the front and I say, hi, my name is Amanda, and I joined the John Lindstrom fan club. Anyway, I did when I was a teenager. I'm guessing my parents paid for that because I did not have a job. So I have no idea. Anyway, I was obsessed with soap operas, particularly General Hospital was my favorite, and John Lindstrom was my favorite character on there. It's so bizarre. Anyway, we have come full circle, and now he is going to read this book to me, and I am going to enjoy it. Okay, so we have just gotten back home from church and now we're having lunch. I don't know. We'll talk about lunch and food and all that stuff later. When I went to church, I had my hair in a ponytail and I've taken the ponytail holder out, but nothing is happening to my hair. It's still staying like it was. So anyway, let's also not talk about my hair. I did want to talk about two things. Number one, my channel officially got monetized yesterday. So I already had the right number of subscribers, but I did not have enough watch hours. And thanks to you guys, I hit the 4,000 watch hours yesterday. So now my channel is monetized. I mean, YouTube says my estimated revenue is $0.00. However, I do not care. Like anybody who starts YouTube and thinks, I am going to make $1 million off of YouTube, maybe has unrealistic expectations. So all that to say, thank you. You guys are awesome. Now, second, I am reading The Storm King, and I am on chapter 12 of 49. So I'm on Audible, and Audible does not tell me the percentage, but my percentage appears to be almost 25% of the way through, and I have found out some more information. So in The Storm King, we are going back and forth from the past to the present. I have found that this is a common thing that happens in these mysteries like this, and our main character's name is Nate, and he has returned to the town where he grew up, and I feel like he hasn't been home, I'm going to say around 15 years, but I'll tell you why the 15 years is in my head, because I feel like it's either more than that or maybe less than that. But he has no one but his grandmother. We found out, we follow him at the very beginning of the book where there is a car wreck and he's the only survivor. So he is the only survivor. I'm not going to go into what happens because you need to read the book. But then we go into the past and we find out that after the accident, because the accident happened, he thinks something happened that was his fault, but it was actually not his fault. But when you're a child and you don't really understand things, he thinks he did something to cause the accident, and really he didn't do anything. But it involves a baseball. And so now, back in the past, somebody is throwing baseballs through his window and he finds out who it is, and it's somebody else who was at the accident who's actually the cause of the accident, the actual cause. And so I have just found that out because now we have gotten that person's point of view. Anyway, so now we've gotten the point of view of the person that was there and who... Anyway, I can't even talk about what's going on. However, there is a hurricane about to hit, and apparently wherever they are is really close to the coast, but they have a lake in their town, and they're more concerned about the lake washing away things than they are the actual ocean. So it must be enough that the hurricane will fill up the lake or cause issues with the lake. So anyway, That's what's going on. It's called the Storm King because apparently vandals like to run wild when there is a storm. Like that's when they start doing things. And apparently Nate and his friends did the same thing when they were kids. And now somebody is doing it again. Anyway, he is back in town because a body has been discovered. And all we know is that somebody said, did you go see the body? And he said, no, it's been 15 years. So I don't know that. I just know that that's where the 15 years comes in. I'm assuming he has not been to town since he left to go to college. He hasn't been back. But I don't know what this dead person has to do with any of it. But now they're having a funeral for her. And he left his wife and his daughter back where they are from. Actually, he made them leave because they're apparently closer to the hurricane. So he made them leave and go stay with her parents. And now he is back in his hometown staying with his grandmother and seeing his old friends and talking about doing vandalism during storms. That's where we are right now. So like I said, I'm 25% of the way through. We'll see what happens by the time I get to the end of it. And I wanted to say thanks for the monetization. I'm working on the next round of my blanket. And so I've only done like this small section from here to here of the next round. So, and I have this much left in the first ball of yarn. So we're just going to keep going and see what we have. I'm ready to work with a smaller yarn. This yarn is so bulky that it's actually a pain to work with. But it's going to make a very soft blanket when I'm finished. Actually, it's probably going to be very warm. Even if it is big enough to be like a lap blanket for an adult, it's going to be really warm. Even with the big holes in it, it's going to be warm because the material is so thick and warm. So anyway, I'm going to get back to listening and doing this. Actually, I'm not going to listen. I don't know how you guys watch YouTube videos, but I usually subscribe to everybody I want to subscribe to, and then I go look at my subscription thing, and I put everything into the watch later that I want to watch later. But then I have a bad problem about not going back and watching them. So right now I have over 1,000 videos in my watch later. So what I decided that I was going to do starting yesterday actually was to watch the videos that came out that day. So any new videos I'm going to watch. And then if I have time or if I want to, I can go back and watch the older ones that are in my watch later folder because now they're 3 months old. So I really want to give some of those people, I really want to give them views. Some of those videos, I really want to just see what happens. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn, but I do want to be as caught up as possible in everybody's videos. So that's what I'm actually going to do while I'm crocheting. I have 13 videos that came out today. Well, that have come out since yesterday afternoon. And I'm going to watch those before I read anymore, and then I'll read some. We'll see. But today's Sunday, which means it's family dinner night out, and I get to pick this time, and I really want Mexican food, my favorite Mexican place in town. So that's where we're going. And until then, I'm just going to be reading and watching YouTube and crocheting. Okay, so I have not read anymore. I've been catching up on YouTube, like I said, and I'm almost finished. But there is a YouTuber that I watch, and she's a nutritionist, but also like a fitness coach and other things. And I used to watch her stuff all the time, and she has very practical advice and like tips that just seem doable to me. They're not ridiculous, outrageous. So I, number one, sent her a message, and I said, also, she and I have been emailing back and forth, so it's not, I sent her a private message. I did not comment on her video and ask this, but I wanted to know, because she has a lot of workout routines as well. She's a strength trainer, and I wanted to know like where I can begin with strength training. I used to do it all the time. Like I was really, until I got married and had kids, I was strength training and running and all kinds of stuff. So playing sports all the time. So I know how to do the things, but it's now been, 25 years since I have really done any of that stuff. So I asked her if she had any ease into it. And speaking of easing into it, the number one suggestion she had was about sleep, because she said that low sleep has been shown to make poor decisions. And I remember I did see I don't know, a Mythbusters or something, where they were testing if lack of sleep made you the same as if you were a certain level of drunk. Like, I don't remember the level, but it was true that when they were sleep deprived, their decisions and their movements were the same as when they were intoxicated with alcohol. So I'm bumping my goal up from 6.5 to 7 hours. So sleep is what I'm going to focus on first, because that's also, I think, going to help with a lot of things, because I feel tired all the time. And so I'm hoping that getting the sleep done, like not done, but getting the sleep going. I have been consistently getting 5,000 steps a day. I think I'm going to try to bump that up right now to like 5,500. And then in a week, we'll see. Well, this week is not really going to count because we're going to spend the week hiking. So that's going to be like throwing off my numbers. So probably next week, I'm going to shoot for 5,500 steps a day on average. And then the next week, if I can do that, I might bump it up to 6,000. I want to go slow. I don't want to say you have to get 8,000 steps a day, and then when I don't, I'm going to beat myself up about it again. So I'm going to try to start slow. And 5,000 steps a day has been doable for me, especially when I go to work at the library. 5,000 is easy for me to get. So I'm going to shoot for 5,500. But we are now planning for this coming week, and it's going to be a very different week. So first of all, I went ahead and got my little Monday, July 8th, and I put and 9th, because I only need to plan 1 hour on the 9th, because I am getting up and going to work to do training. And then as soon as the training's over, I'm coming back here and we're going to load up our car and we're going to go. So we'll talk about where we're going to go and what we're going to do when we're doing it. However, it might affect the videos. We're kind of going to be in the middle of a national park. We're technically going to be in a town and in a hotel, but I do not know the Wi-Fi situation or anything. I'm going to go ahead and bring my laptop with me so that I can try to edit and get videos up every day. However, if this week the videos are a little bit behind, I'm still going to have a video every day that I'm going to film. And then my plan will be that I'll just put out 2 videos a day to get me caught up if we miss any days this week while I'm traveling. So we should actually be covered through tomorrow when I film the video on the 8th. I will make sure I edit that video from the 8th before we leave on the 9th. So it might affect the 11th and the 12th videos, but then I'll be back home after that and everything should get back to normal as far as Wi-Fi go. So I did have a comment wanting to know about like my content creation discussion and how we do all of that. And so I decided that since I wasn't reading very much today, I've kind of already read The Storm King. I am going to read, I'm about to go actually sit down and read Arrows of the Queen, but I'm kind of hoping that I might fall asleep. It's 2 p.m. We're going to leave here about 4:15 this afternoon to go into town and get a passport picture made for Wesley, and then we're going to dinner, everybody together. So for my content creation, the first thing I do is I decide how many videos on both channels. So for right now, while I have this job, I have cut everything back to doing 3 videos a week per channel. Okay, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday on both channels. It makes it easy for me to keep up with, and that's the way I like to do it. So I have this planner that has a blank month like this. So there's no numbers, there's no anything, it's just a blank thing. And I take it for whatever month is coming up. So this is what I have done for July. And you can see that there are little sticky notes on there. And so I have my sticky notes right here in front of me for in case I think up anything or have any ideas or whatever. And I have just 2 different colors. It does not matter. Right now, this yellow or orangey color is my Sims channel and this is my reading channel. But sometimes I used to do way more Sims videos than reading videos, so my Sims would run out faster and I would switch colors. So it doesn't really matter. I just do it however I want to. So I will take one of these and I will put it on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the next. I like to plan like about 3 weeks in advance. And I like planning on these because like what happened last week was that I read that whole series. It was not last week. It was the middle of June. I read all of the Powerless series by Elsie Silver. It's not called Powerless, but Powerless is one of the books. And I read that whole series in just a couple of days. And I was like, oh, let me do a video talking about all of these books. So I did that and I wrote it on here and I put it in my spot and I just moved everything else. I just shifted everything else down. Now there are some things that I want to have out at a certain point. So if I know, like once a month, I like to do my monthly reads for like Buzzword and my girls that are doing the Aeldia thing, the year in Aeldia thing. So I pick those, and then I always have my storygraph challenges, and that's a separate video. So that's 2 videos right there. And if I know what they're going to be, I write them on here. Let me write, like I'll just write monthly reads, but I leave enough space here on the end so that I can go back and write the date that I want it to come out. Now, again, that is going to change, and I usually don't write the date until I am moving it over. Okay, so I will look at, I'm probably going to do my monthly reads tomorrow actually, because they're not going to be a separate video, but I would look at what I have and I would be like, oh, I can do the monthly reads, and I will just stick that in here somewhere where it fits. So that is what I do. I write down, sometimes I'll go through and brainstorm a lot of ideas, and I will put every idea on one of these, and I will just randomly stick them all over this page, usually down the side over here where there aren't dates. And then I'm like, okay, I've got these video ideas. If I feel like filming one, I will pick it up and put it over there. But I like to decide at the beginning of the week, usually on Sundays, what videos I'm filming for the next week. So my Monday, Wednesday, Friday video for next week needs to already be done before that week starts. I like to be 1 week ahead because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to get sick, if one of my kids is going to get sick. Like, I just don't know what's going to happen. And having that week buffer, that 1 week ahead, really helps me to feel comfortable with what's going on and what I'm doing. So then if I have to cram a bunch of stuff in a couple of days during the week, I will still be able to do that. So in July, it's not working that way for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm doing these daily vlogs here on this channel, but then also on the Sims channel, I have cut back to only Mondays in July. And I am doing my most popular series over there just on Mondays in the month of July, and that's all. Now, what I do over there, because I play a lot of different series, and what that ultimately means is I'm playing challenges with different families. So one family, and it'll just give you like what they specifically need to do for that generation. So as you're like raising your sim and they're doing things, you try to finish that generation, finish the requirements in that generation, and then you go to the next generation and so on. So because I have so many of those, it's really easy for me to go, okay, my most popular one is the Ultimate Decades. I'm going to make that be every Monday. And then my Wednesday and Friday video over there, I can pretty much pick whatever I feel like playing. If I feel like playing more with one family over another family, then I'll put that out. I'll just film that and put it out. So that one has become a lot more what I would like to do. And I'm not sure that I like doing it that way. I know that sounds like I have more freedom and I have more control, but it's hard for me to make decisions. Very hard. So what I used to do when I was putting out videos every day on the Sims channel for over a year, there was one video every day on the Sims channel. And what I did then was I created a rotation schedule. I wrote down every family that I was playing with, and I would say, okay, on Monday, it's Ultimate Decade because that's the most popular. And then let's do another Ultimate Decade on Friday because everybody really likes it. So let's give everybody 2 of those a week. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday would be other family things. And then Saturday and Sunday would be also other family things. But I just fit in around those two things, and I kind of rotated. Whatever I did on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday would circle back around to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And for a while, every Tuesday was something. Every Wednesday was something. And now, like I said, it kind of depends on what I feel like playing, but I really think in order to like get me back on track with some of those families that have fallen to the wayside, I need to go back to my rotation schedule. I used to have my rotation posted up here on the wall next to me. And so when I was ready to plan out the next 2 weeks, I knew what Monday was, I knew what Friday was, and I would look at the rotation and go, okay, this one, this one, this one, this is the one I'm on next. Then we circle back around and start over again. And that is how I would plan out my Sims content. And then after everything's planned, it still has to be filmed and edited and all the things. So I would look at how long does it take me to film and edit a video. So for The Sims, it takes me 1 hour to film. And that's usually a little over 1 hour because I've got to load the game. And those of you who play the game knows that it takes a minute to load, especially if I forget to put the right mods in and then I have to reload the game. Or if I forget to put the right save file in, I have to reload the game. Anyway, so it usually takes a little over an hour for me to film one video. And then it takes me about 30 minutes to edit a Sims video. So that is an hour and a half for one video. So yes, when I was doing that daily, it was a lot of time and it took a lot of time to do those things. But now I know I need to set aside at least an hour and a half. Really, I set aside 2 hours because like I said, the filming usually goes over a little bit. So if I say every Sims video takes me 2 hours, start to finish, then when I'm looking at my schedule for the week, because I look at it at a whole week at a time, I look at when I have to work at the library, because that is mandatory and I don't have a choice. I look at any appointments that I have, and then I try to slot in there 3 2-hour time slots for filming 3 Sims videos for the week. So it doesn't matter what I'm filming, they all take the same amount of time. So that's how I plan that one. Then for my reading channel, it's a little bit different. If I'm filming a sit down and I talk about something video, or I pick out a TBR, or I'm playing a monstrosity round, those things don't take as long to film because I'm sitting here chatting with you for just a few minutes and then I go do something else and then I come back. That time is mostly spent on the editing. So I like to give myself an hour to edit, and I don't really add in filming time unless I know it's going to be, we're going to sit down and we're going to look through all of this and we're going to film it. So I usually say an hour and a half per reading video. So I do the same thing. I look at everything that I have on my calendar as far as appointments, work at the library, and the Sims videos. And then I see where I can fit in my schedule an hour and a half, 3 times a week for the reading videos. And that is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday video every week. And that is pretty much what happens and how it works until I watch Amy do every day in June. And I think, oh, let me do every day in July. And then my whole world changes. So anyway, please let me know if you want me to actually like top-down video show you what that looks like to do an actual planning, especially like as I'm preparing for the month of August, because in August we're going back to the 3 videos for The Sims instead of just 1, and I'm not going to be filming every day, so we're going back to the 3 videos on this channel as well for the month of August. So I can do a quick video at the end of the month to kind of show you how I plan and get ready for August. Speaking of the end of the month, our live stream party is going to be on the 31st at 6 p.m. Central. July 31st at 6 p.m. Central Time. I am going to post that on my community tab so that you guys can find it. I'm also going to post it in the Discord. I wanted to make a cute little thing for it, but I don't know. I do have one firm yes of someone who is going to be here for the party, another booktuber. I am waiting if you guys have any more suggestions before I start reaching out to people, but I do have a firm yes who is coming to hang out at the party. And then I'm totally open to inviting more people to come hang out. I've got got to finish this blanket though, so I can work on another project. I mean, I have 3 projects right now to give away, and I'm going to have the 4th because I'm going to finish the blanket. So I am going to be hiking a lot this week, like I said, but I think I'm going to go ahead and pick out a couple of smaller projects and take just a little bit of yarn with me. The fact that we're bringing our own car means I can pack extra things in there. I mean, it's just me and my husband, and we have an SUV, so that'll be easy for me to put stuff in. So I'm going to take some projects with me, but right now, I'm going to sit down and plan out tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit difficult this week to get the Sims video done just because I have one day of work. I'm working Monday, and I'm working at the library from 10 to 3 in the morning. And so then I really just have Monday afternoon to get everything ready before we leave Tuesday morning. So that is all for my update right now. I know I talked for almost 20 minutes. So that is my check-in. I'm going to go read Arrows of the Queen. And so maybe I will be able to check in with you later about Arrows of the Queen. I know I will, not maybe, unless I immediately fall asleep and stay asleep the whole time. But I'm going to go do Arrows of the Queen. I'm not even going to prep for tomorrow right now because I don't feel like it. So I'll do that later when we get back after we go eat us some really good Mexican food. And that's it. You guys tell me what's your favorite kind of food. If you could only eat one type of food the rest of your life, what would it be? I'm going to say Mexican, even though my brain is also saying your stomach will hate you if that's what you do the rest of your life, but I'm still going to say it anyway. Okay, we just got back from dinner. I read a little bit more of The Storm King on the way into and back from town. And I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I think it's leaving too many unanswered questions as I'm reading. So it's more frustrating than it is intriguing. And it's not really guiding me the way I want it to. Like, I don't know. There's just something that's off about it. And it's okay. And I am ready to see what happens. But none of the characters feel like they're super fleshed out. Even our main character is kind of just pretty flat and not a lot of dimensions to him. And so overall, right now it's just meh. We'll see when I get finished. Also, because my DNA came in, the ancestry thing, it is very hard for me right now to not fall down the ancestry rabbit hole and start doing more and more and more research, even though that's not really what I want to prioritize right now. It really seems like it'd be fun. So I'm trying to fight myself on that. But I did get a couple more rounds done on the blanket. I'll show it to you probably in tomorrow's vlog. Like, I finished one whole skein of yarn and I have 2 more to go. So once I get probably another one done, I'll show it to you. But I'm thinking that tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and pick a couple projects that I'm going to take. Probably one project that I can do a couple of versions of it with different colored yarns. Also, I took a nap. I wanted to see if my Fitbit would track a nap, and apparently it does not. I guess I didn't sleep the full amount of time to be able to consider it a sleeping. But I got 7 hours and 27 minutes of sleep last night, and then I slept in there. I don't know. I only laid down for 40 minutes, and I know I wasn't asleep the whole time. So let's say I got a 20-minute nap in. I feel fantastic. It's almost 7 o'clock. So I'm going to plan out my day tomorrow, and then Wesley wants me to play Legendary with him again. And then I read part of my I had 50 minutes, and now I have 29 minutes left today. So I'm going to read some more in this book for the rest of those minutes. And then I might read more of The Storm King. I'm definitely finishing it tonight. I only have like 3 hours left in the audiobook. Let me look. 3 hours and 15 minutes left. So I'll finish that tonight. And that means that I get to start War and Millie McGonagall. That's definitely going to be finished in one day. I think the total, the whole audiobook is less than 6 hours at one time speed. So that's going to take me no time to finish. And then I'll be reading The Body Farm by Patricia Cornwell, which is my next Kay Scarpetta novel in my 50 Before 50. So that is the plan for the rest of the day. And I'll check back in with you guys probably before I go up to bed. Okay, it is 10:15. I have this much of the blanket done. It's getting bigger. It's still just a big square, and it doesn't collapse very easily. Like, I don't know. Anyway, this is one whole skein of the thing, and then I have the 2 left still to go. So, I don't know. It feels very stiff and thick. I just don't know what I think about it. Anyway, I have made my plan for tomorrow. I am doing nothing except trying to sleep and get as much sleep as possible before I go to work tomorrow. So at 9 o'clock, I'm going to get ready to go to work. I have already planned out what I'm having for breakfast. By the way, if you see my Sims channel over here, I totally forgot that I had a video that still needed to get edited and ready to go tonight. So remember when I said how I plan my content? Apparently in February, when I decided to give myself a break, I just said, oh, content, what's that on the Sims channel? And so I forgot. But I had at least already filmed it and done part of the editing. I just had to finish it up. So that's finished. It's processing right now. It's already uploaded for my members. My members already have access to it over there, and then it'll go live on the channel tomorrow. And so anyway, that's what's happening over there on that side. So I'm working from 10 to 3 tomorrow. When I get home before I even go into work, I'm going to start dinner in the crock pot. We are having a chicken and noodle soup kind of thing. It's not chicken noodle soup, but it is a dish that involves chicken and noodles. And so I will take you through that process. But tomorrow morning, I will put the chicken, some cans of cream of chicken soup, and some spices in the crock pot and get those going before I go to work. Then I get home from work at 3 and I have admin stuff to do, like my normal check off list for everything I want to do for admin for the day. And then I need to pack because we leave on Tuesday. Then I'm going to cook dinner, and then I'm going to plan the reading and the projects that I'm going to do while we're gone on our trip. So I know you can kind of see at the top, I have Teddy Roosevelt National Park up here, and then I've got hikes and trail information and maps and all of that stuff because that's where we're going for the week. And so I wanted to pull up some hiking trails. I made a few notes in this notebook over here about what I wanted to do for it. Also, I've been reading y'all's comments, and some of y'all have very good thoughts and advice, I guess I'm going to say, especially when it comes to the eating issues and the food problems that I constantly talk about. And the fact that, like, one of you was like, go ahead and put breakfast pizza and going out on your schedule. And I have done that in the past, and it worked so well because I can tell myself, like, it's Monday, but I know that I'm going to go get whatever, Burger King, on Wednesday. So I don't need to get it today. And there's no arguments. Like, then I don't have to argue with my brain because I'm like, you're fine. You're going to get it in a couple of days. Just settle down. And so it just releases so much of it. And I don't know why I have forgotten that that's a thing that I have done in the past. And somebody commented that, and I was like, yes, of course. That's definitely what I'm going to do. Also, I have written to my nutritionist person and asked her where I should start. And she gave me one of her programs. However, she said that that program, because I said, I don't want to go from 0 days of strength training to 4 days a week because I know myself and I'm going to be like, I'm not doing that. That's too much. So she said that I can take it at whatever pace I want to. And when I sign up for it, it's going to put it at 4 days a week there might even be 5 days a week. I think you do 2 days and then you rest, then you do 2 days and then you rest, and then you do 3 days and then you rest. I can't remember how the thing goes. But she said that since I'm putting it on my own calendar as part of her system, and I pay for this system, it's not a free thing. So I will link it down below in case anybody else wants to at least go follow her YouTube channel. I think that she is great. But anyway, I can set it at my own pace how I want to. So I'm not worrying about this week. We're leaving on Tuesday. We're going to do a ton of walking and we're not coming back until Friday night. And then I have to work at the library on Saturday. So next Sunday, I will work on setting up all of that and how those things are going to go that week, which you'll get to see because you'll be here. But she did say that I was able to go in and adjust the thing. So if it says I need to do something Monday and Tuesday, I can move that Tuesday one to like Thursday. And maybe I start out doing Monday and Thursday for the first week. And maybe the second week I do Monday and Thursday. And then the next week I can add in another day or something. and kind of build myself up that way. So that is going to be the plan going forward. Somebody else said that the coffee or some kind of dairy could be causing the issues. I also got a suggestion about trying the Whole30 and then reintegrating the food to see what exactly is causing the stomach problems. And I'm just going to say maybe. I have done Whole30 for every January for a few years. Our whole family did it, or everybody that was old enough. We didn't make the kids participate if they didn't want to. So, but we did it for a few years. And the problem is not necessarily the Whole30. The problem is the reintegration. I just wanted to eat all the food on February 1st instead of reintegrating correctly. So anyway, all of that to say, I feel so much better. I know part of it is that I have gotten a lot of sleep the last 2 days. I'm going to say a lot because it's a lot for me, but I got 7 hours and then I got 7.5 hours. And so just that, and then I took a little 20-minute nap today. I just feel really good. Like I feel sleepy right now and it's 10:20 at night, but I don't feel like just completely run down and worn out. So I am still going to go in my room and read, but I am trying to give myself enough time in the morning that I don't have to get up. Like I'm not going to sacrifice my sleep for my reading. I hope that makes sense. At least tonight, that is the plan. We'll see what happens the next day. Also, I think my hip is hurting because I got a new pillow. Is that a weird thing? Is that an old lady thing that I'm now in my late 40s? Late 40s. Let's still call it mid 40s. Can 47 still be mid? Okay, I'm in my mid 40s. And maybe changing my pillow has just jacked up my whole body. And I'm going to go back. I'm going back to my pillow. I like it for propping myself up, but it's too tall. So I'm going to adjust tonight and not be so high. We'll see what it does to my hip. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to go. My hip gets better throughout the day. Like it hurts when I first wake up and then it's better the more I move it and walk on it and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to tell my brain to just shut it with the kidneys. Just because my back hurts does not mean it's a kidney thing. Like I have my kidneys tested every time they do blood work and it's not a problem. But for some reason my brain's like, oh, you know what? That's probably a kidney problem. So anyway, it is almost time for me to do blood work again. So I am waiting on the nurse to email me about that as well. And then we'll go in and do another round of blood work. That's mostly for my thyroid. In case you couldn't tell, I have a big scar right here because they took out half of my thyroid. Did you guys know you had a left and a right thyroid? Well, my right one is gone. So anyway, that's it. I am going to go and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.